Hey everybody. It's good coffee.
Roman Polak might sign with the Leafs! You know, third time's a charm! Holy crap!
It's like Wendell Clark, Roman Polak, same thing, basically the same guy. They had the handlebars at one point, it's the same guy. No, okay. Okay, where did this all come from? Why are you yelling? Let's figure this out. So today, Alan Walsh, who is an NHL agent who I'm sure many of you are blocked by, so I'm going to post a screenshot right here. He posted a video of Roman Polak working out, testing out that formerly broken leg that's not broken anymore, and lo and behold, look at him, he's skating around, and oh my god, he's wearing Leaf gear. Which makes a lot of sense. Roman Polak has played for the Toronto Maple Leafs for quite some time now, actually. And because it is August 22nd, this broke hockey Twitter. Does NBA Twitter know how spoiled they are with Kyrie Irving for Isaiah Thomas rumors? Here's what we get. Roman Polak still knows how to skate. Seeing the video caused a lot of people to come to conclusions though, and the Leafs came up, and I think they even started trending. Let's look at this with a clear head. How is life going to be when Roman Polak re-signs with the Leafs? As you can see from this hero chart on ownthepuck.blogspot.ca, Roman Polak has been an interesting player. There are two schools of thought on Roman Polak, and certainly none of them are that he's an analytics darling. Now, no matter what side of the argument you're on with Polak, he's a good player, he's a useful player, he is a drag on the team possession-wise. A lot of those people who disagree with each other agree on a few things. One, a lot of people seem to agree that having a leader like Roman Polak around last year was helpful. We want to believe that the inmates can run the asylum, but with a team that had so many 19 and 20 and 21 and 22-year-olds last year, it was worthwhile to have a graybeard like Roman Polak, who is like the same age as Kyle Dubas, by the way. A lot of reporters will testify that he is actually a surprisingly good quote and a nice guy, and they like him. That's the kind of guy you want in your team, for sure. And as far as the on-ice part, a lot of people, even the detractors, seem to agree that as the season went on, particularly the last 20, 15 or so games of the regular season and the beginning of the playoffs, Roman Polak actually looked pretty good. Matt Hunwick too, certainly way better than they did earlier in the season. Of course, what ruined that? Broken fibula. So towards the end of last season, I was looking at Polak play and I'm going, you know what? I could be convinced to bring him back on a cheapish one-year deal. I could be convinced. And that's even being a non-believer heading into that stretch. Whether you love him on the ice or you hate him, I think we can all agree that Roman Polak is not exactly the type of player who can afford to lose a step. After breaking his leg, how much summer training was he actually able to get done? Is this guy going to be even slower than he was before? Don't get me wrong, there are worse skaters than Roman Polak, but there are better ones too. And worth mentioning, last season, Polak made $2.25 million. For more on that mess, let's go back to capfriendly.com. Right now, it says the Leafs are $2.4, almost $2.5 million over the cap. Of course, that doesn't account for Joffrey Lupul and Nathan Horton and a few other things that are going to happen. Connor Brown is going to get re-signed, right? Right? It's so funny. I saw on Twitter, people are like, if Roman Polak screws the Leafs out of signing Connor Brown, I am gonna flip! Now that Alexei Marchenko is gone, another right-handed shot, by the way. Now that Alexei Marchenko is gone, the Leafs are at 48 contracts. So, in theory, if they wanted to, they could sign Roman Polak, 49, and re-sign Connor Brown, 50. They would be at the 50-man roster limit. Now, of course, that would prevent them from signing anybody else, but who cares? They get everyone who they need. Then they got a little bit of surplus. What's going to happen with Levo, Soshnikov, etc. But as far as the cap goes, I don't understand how there's room for another person who isn't named Connor Brown. I don't really know how high or low the Leafs are on Martin Marincin, but I think they're comfortable enough with him to keep him as at least their seventh guy, and he's not that expensive, $1.25 million. Not to mention Connor Carrick might and should take a step this season, and he's heading into a contract year. And a lot of people have Travis Dermott making the Leafs next year, which, well, that would be pretty interesting. There's always the outside Timothy Liljegren factor. I don't think it'll happen, but you never know. Out of Kasperi Kapanen, Josh Levo, Nikita Soshnikov, and Eric Fehr, who's a Leaf still, by the way, they only got one spot up front. And if you carry two spare defenders, which you're going to have to do if you sign Roman Polak and Travis Dermott makes the team, then you only got room for one forward. So I assume Kapanen makes the team. They probably keep Levo as a healthy scratch because they obviously have no problem doing that. They're allowed to send Nikita Soshnikov back down, and they can bury Eric Fehr, which might save them a little bit of change. Okay, That is the only scenario where I can see Polak maybe getting signed and making sense. So whether you're excited he could come back or you're dreading that he can come back, I just don't understand how the Leafs could bring him back. I don't think it makes much sense. We know the Leafs love their guys who set an example, okay? They got Matt Martin on the Leafs. They got Rich Clune on the Marlies, and he was briefly with the Leafs. They had Justin Johnson for a while, who I think played like 8 games or something, and then was basically just working with the team in the weight room. And not just in the weight room, you know, giving a lot of wisdom, stuff like that. I just wonder if they bring him back in that kind of role. Otherwise, I don't get it. Worth asking the question whether you like him or you don't. Who the heck's going to kill penalties for the Leafs this year? As you can see here, Roman Polak was dependent on heavily in that role, and he's gone. Matt Hunwick as well. He's gone. Morgan Rielly, he's still there. Okay, you can put him in there. Nikita Zaitsev, I didn't even really realize that. Yep, you can put him in. Ron Hainsey is a guy who I would expect to step in right away on the Leafs penalty kill. Okay, there's one answer, but we still got at least one more. And in that, we find a potentially interesting solution. Mike Babcock didn't trust Martin Marincin to be on the ice every night, but when he did, he trusted him enough to kill penalties. And just in case you were curious, yes, that continued in the playoffs as well. I'm not saying I got a solution here. I'm just saying that regardless of whether or not Polak comes back, the Leafs do have a hole they need to fill on the PK. And I am saying that, dude, I think the Leafs are honest to goodness looking at it. Or they're working on something. One thing that's bugged me is that alleged rumor of JVR getting traded for Travis Hamonic that I don't believe was really alleged. I just feel like you can't have trade talks like that, honest to goodness, almost happened trade talks, and then when they fall through, just go, well, we're content. Obviously you're not. Are you? And after that allegedly happened, the Leafs went out and got Ron Hainsey. Surely he's the guy they want. Right? I feel like last year around this time I was making more videos and there was actually more to talk about because teams kind of had to get their stuff together a little earlier due to the World Cup of Hockey. Now that it's August 22nd, I think this might just be the calm before the storm. Will that storm involve Roman Polak? We'll just have to wait and see. That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really like it. Please, click subscribe. I want to hit 100,000 subscribers. I want that button. I want that silver button. Tell all your friends, and holy smokes, we just talked about Roman Polak for too long. I want hockey back in the worst way.